In Richard Connell's short story, The Most Dangerous Game, a crazed Russian general hunts down people for sport on his private island. This classic story is about survival and ethics, but surely no one's read this story and thought, hey, that's a great idea. Right? Hi, I'm Crate13, and that Qatari check still hasn't hit. Today we're discussing the allegations of sniper tourism occurring in history. This is going to be a fun one to see if it stays monetized. Sniper tourism is exactly what it sounds like. This is a form of vacation, for lack of a better term, where one person pays an exorbitant amount of money to hunt down and shoot another person. Now, this has long been rumored to be a thing that happened, but recent investigations in Bosnia did show that it actually occurred. Okay, so this is like the third or fourth time I've covered the Yugoslav wars on this channel, so for a more detailed breakdown of the context of this, go watch one of these two videos, or both of them. I don't care, you're probably an adult. But to summarize, Serbians don't like Bosnians, Bosnians don't like Serbians, and both sides were trying to ethnically cleanse the other. But the Serbians had managed to surround the capital of Bosnia, Sarajevo. And it was here the longest military siege in modern military history would occur. For 4 years, Serbians would take pot shots and bombard the city nonstop. Specifically doing this were members of the breakaway state, the Republic of Srpska, who hate vowels for some reason. Srpska was a region of Bosnia that was ethnically full of Serbians that wanted to break away from Bosnia and join Serbia. And they were able to gain control of the overlooking hills of Sarajevo. And it was here an on average of 300 snipers were active daily. And the forces of Srpska thought to themselves, how can we monetize this? Well, this is where the Sarajevo Safari was founded. Rich foreigners would pay huge amounts of money to be given the opportunity to be handed a rifle and kill innocent civilians. And it was reported that different ages had different prices attached with them, with babies being the most expensive. I hated doing research for this video. And for that research, I watched the documentary that brought a lot of this to light, by the same name, Sarajevo Safari. It's a hard watch. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a whole section where an old couple recounts how they were on a walk with their 1-year-old baby who had just been learning how to walk when a sniper took a shot at the child. And they go into great detail of how they lost their kid. It's bad. But it's on YouTube for free in an English dub, and I encourage you all to go watch it if you want to go learn more about the Yugoslav wars. Is it a perfect source? Absolutely not. It's from the Bosnian perspective, and they have their own spin on it. But it does highlight the human tragedy of the war exceptionally well. And I'm going to link it in the description below. Anyways, it follows two main sources from the 90s that witnessed these things occur. One was a captured Serbian soldier who was interrogated by the Bosnians and claimed he witnessed rich foreigners who spoke fluent English being flown in wearing expensive hunting gear. He claimed that these foreigners would be flown into Belgrade, where they would be driven to the cities of Pele or Gabrivka by Serbian special forces. From here, they would have an excellent sightline of the city of Sarajevo. They would camp out for days with their soldier escorts hanging out with them, not too dissimilar to a safari in Kenya where you're hunting something like an elephant or a Cape buffalo. The soldiers would set up multiple positions that the tourists could switch between as they take their shots in order to conceal their position and better protect them from return fire. That way they could LARP as real snipers. No official sources on prices exist, but it is rumored that, adjusted for inflation, the price for a person was $100,000 on average. These claims were independently corroborated by a Slovenian man claimed that he was working for an American agency, the CIA, to report the happenings in and around Sarajevo. He claimed to have seen Americans, English, Belgians, Germans, Russians, and a lot of Italians at these camps. And he claimed that he witnessed 7 hunts. And when he reported it to his American higher-ups, they just responded with, "That's interesting," which is the intelligence community's way of saying K. Now, with him actually being potentially a CIA asset or just lying about it, I'm sure he would have zero ulterior motives of spreading division in the Balkans. But importantly, these two accounts were never shared publicly. In 2007, the world was finally prosecuting the war criminals from the Yugoslav wars. During these trials, an American firefighter by the name of John Jordan, who was on the ground in Bosnia during these events, testified under oath at The Hague that he saw tourist snipers in Gabrivka, which matches the testimony from the previous two sources. 12,000 civilians died in Sarajevo from 1992 to 1996 from sniper fire alone. That's 8 people a day being murdered by this. Now, was every single one of these people a casualty of the safari? No. But even just saying half of the people that did get killed were, means that this was a $500 million industry. The city was traumatized. Signs nearly on every street had warnings of snipers. And this trauma is what inspired the creators of the documentary to make it. And this documentary had a major impact, as the prosecutor's office in Bosnia reopened cases and started new investigations into these war crimes. In November of 2025, similar investigations had been launched in Italy and Belgium. In Italy, it was actually revealed that their special forces put a stop to this problem back in the 90s. You see, investigations were done by Italy at the time because they knew this was happening, and they found out that people were flying into Milan, and this was the starting point for the safari, as they would load up their gear here and then fly to Belgrade. That's why so many of the participants were Italian. But new investigations came anyways, and they ended up arresting a 65-year-old man who they believe was involved in these safaris, as when they raided his home, they found significant evidence to suggest so. This happened back in February, so the investigation is still ongoing and we don't know what this evidence is. But we know his wife testified against him, saying that he has nightmares almost every night about what he did in Bosnia. Oh, and my personal favorite allegation is that the current president of Serbia, Alexander Vučić, has been accused of being a part of the Sarajevo safaris. He denies the claims that he was a part of the safari, saying that he was in Pele and Sarajevo during the end of the siege, but only in the capacity as a journalist covering what was happening there. But I promise you, I've seen a picture of a Serbian soldier holding a rifle that looks exactly like him before. I could not find this picture for the life of me anywhere on Google, so maybe it was AI, I may have been like a boomer and got tricked. I don't know. But I know I have seen that picture before. The main culprit who organized these crimes was found guilty in 2016 by The Hague. But it seems like everyone else got away with it. And a lot of that came down to the fact the people that were doing this were extremely rich and powerful. But Sarajevo was the only place you could pay $100,000 to kill a man? No. Apparently you can do that in Russia right now. Well, actually in international waters off the coast of Somalia, but a Russian company is apparently organizing this. Apparently there's rumors that there's Russian startup companies with the goal of getting mercenaries to take rich foreigners out on boats off the Horn of Africa to shoot at and attack Somali pirates. Now, is there any proof of this actually happening right now? No. But don't tell me that you can't see former Wagner Group operators taking a gunboat out to Africa and letting people pay to shoot RPGs at pirates. Now, I can say with confidence this is a lot better than what was happening in Sarajevo, but it's still a morally weird one. You also have weirder examples in Cambodia and Laos where you can get a rocket launcher and blow up a water buffalo for like $600, which I will admit a part of me does think that's kind of cool, but I also wouldn't do it. But if I have learned anything in my short time on Earth, it's that the elite have a lot of evil people in it. It makes you wonder if it's what it takes for these people to reach the halls of power that corrupts them, or is it the fact that once you have literally everything, like General Zarov in The Most Dangerous Game, you become bored? Or are they just demons? I don't know. Evil is shockingly real, and stories like the Sarajevo Safari remind us that the idea of this peaceful and kind world that we have established since World War II is a facade. Evil is real, and evil should be exposed. Well, guys, I know this was a shorter video, but this one just sucked doing research for, and I know the algorithm is going to absolutely hate this video, so please like this video, subscribe, hype this video up. All of those things help. But if you want to go further, join the channel membership. You'll get access to the Discord and your name featured right here. Buy merch, support the cause, but other than that, I hope you enjoy whatever food you decided to eat or whatever poop you decided to poop when you sat down and watched this video. I'm Crate13 and I hope you have a blessed day.